Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this week's webinar. I'm Jaci Smith and I'm the founder of the My Local Group. I'm also here with our very good friends from Stratton Finance. We've got Richard and Paul. Look, we're really excited about the Stratton Finance relationship to basically give you guys a bit more of an opportunity to branch out into the car space. Now, we obviously know that there's a number of you guys that already do car finance, but for those brokers out there that have traditionally stayed away from it because they've not necessarily known how it works or what to do, or getting accreditations with lenders over the past 5 years in particular has been quite hard. This is the reason why I actually reached out to Stratton. I think there's a great opportunity for all brokers to look at their existing database and to obviously, look at the mining opportunities with those customers to, essentially add to your bottom line every month. Now, Stratton has obviously a really long, amazing reputation in this space. Their technology is fantastic. Their support is second to none. And their mantra is very much along the lines of the My Local mantra as well, where, we're all about, helping each other, making sure that we can get the best outcome. So today we're going to be talking about essentially all the products that Stratton has to offer, including a very exceptional car buying service. So another service that you can obviously add to your customers, wish list. If they're looking to buy a car, well, you could obviously save them thousands and thousands of dollars and, look like an absolute hero. So we'll run through all those products, what it means to you guys in terms of the type of revenue that you can make off the back of a referral to Stratton, the processes in terms of how that's handled, and just a little bit more about all the lenders and the niches that they have. So essentially they have a wide range of lenders, 24 lenders I've been told just earlier today, which have the ability to fit a whole different range of niche for your client. So let's get started, and I'll hand over to Paul. And Richard, you're here for questions, I understand.
I am indeed.
Exciting. Awesome.
Hi guys, look, I just wanted to thank everyone for taking time out of the day today to learn a bit more about what we at Stratton could offer you guys and where we can really add value to your business. Look, we're all very excited about the opportunity with working with My Local, and I thank Jaci for inviting us here today.
My pleasure. Great to have you guys.
Now, the important thing for Rich and I today is that you guys get the most you can out of this webinar. So please do ask any questions as we go. I think you guys can type in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And we will do our best to answer them. If, of course, we can't answer them straight away, then we'll get back to you guys with an answer as soon as we can. Okay. Ideally, we'd like this to be as interactive as possible.
Absolutely. And we'll provide everyone with a copy of the presentation at the end as well, with all the contact details. And there'll obviously be a Q&A at the end if you want to hold off to the end as well.
Cool. So if we just jump onto the first slide there. I think Dan's right driving this.
Yep, perfect.
Okay, so a little bit of background on Stratton. Who are we? Well, we were established back in '98. Our founder, by the name of Rob Challoner, he worked out the back of a dealership and did finance for the cars in that dealership. Nowadays, we've got 14 offices around Australia, around about 300 staff members. In Melbourne alone, we've got about 45 brokers.
Yeah, 45, yeah.
And we write around about $70 million in volume a month for around about 150 assets each month. Stratton has 50,000 clients on their books, and fantastically now we're Australia's largest car finance broker.
Makes sense.
Some of you guys may know that Car Sales bought Stratton around about 3 years ago. And now we're part of that business. And if you jump on Car Sales, you'll know that if you want a finance quote on a car, you'll get it by Stratton, basically. Yep. Okay. So the key things about what Stratton offer. Firstly, our services. We have a car buying service. Jaci mentioned it earlier, called Car Connect. It's a real value add for your clients, and I'll cover that in a moment. And also, obviously, the main core part of our business, which is our car and asset finance. Lender-wise, it's 24, 25 lenders.
Give or take.
We specialise in all types of finance, and again, we'll cover that in a moment. And products-wise, we do both consumer and commercial asset finance and insurance, personal and business loans, and novated leasing. Okay.
And if anyone has a question about what novated leasing is, that's definitely a question to ask, and the guys can answer that, because I think everyone's really scared to understand what novated leasing is. So if someone wants to ask that question, unless you all know the answer, that'd be excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Novated leasing.
Yeah, well, you can go for it now, yeah.
Yeah, look, so novated leasing is a way of financing not only your car, but also your servicing and maintenance payments, all within a finance package over a loan term. So it just allows you to finance the vehicle itself, plus fuel, servicing, maintenance, rego, etc., all in one payment. So not only do you have to sort of worry about your bills coming in every day, you also get tax breaks at the end of the year.
Yeah,
well, so.
definitely pretty handy. So if you've got questions specifically around that, and I know it's one of the questions when I was doing a lot of car finance that customers had absolutely no idea, and then a number of brokers that still didn't. And if you're not doing this every day, you're not actually going to know how it works. And obviously, you know, how do you sell a novated leasing package? Like, how can you start that conversation? But these are all things that we can talk about at the end anyway. So,
Great.
yeah, excellent.
Okay, so really key stuff here, what can be financed. Now I've split this quite simply into 4 areas. Firstly, your more sort of leisure type stuff. So your day-to-day stuff, all that jets and helicopters. we'll all be retiring if we get a few of those. So cars, boats, bikes, caravans, jets and helicopters. Your other sort of more commercial equipment like plant machinery, agricultural goods. We do specialist stuff, solar, robotics, cameras, that type of stuff that many finance companies won't touch and the major banks don't really like. And also we do various different fit outs. A lot of the finance companies don't like gym fit outs, but we do have 1 or 2 that will take gym equipment, and also office and restaurant fit outs, which are much more, you know, the companies enjoy much more. Our car buying service. So we've got a car buying service called Car Connect. It's a fantastic service. We buy around 400 new and demo cars per month for our clients. And the great news about the car buying service is that it doesn't cost a lot of money for the clients. That's the real key for us. It's not really a profit-making service in our business. It really helps our finance arm. So we don't ask the client to pay an awful lot for their car. What they actually pay is 1% of the amount financed for the vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay, and that generally goes into the finance agreement.
Yeah.
Now what we do is we'll go out to the 3 local dealers of that customer's make and model of the car they'd like, and we'll approach them and ask them for 3 quotes. The customer gets complete transparency on the quotes that come in, and they'll see the 3 quotes and they can select dealer A, B or C. If they select dealer A, we'll then organise a test drive. We'll take the details of a trade-in if they've got a trade-in, and we'll value that for them as well.
Wow.
So we do the whole buying service for them, so they don't have to worry about going into the dealership and doing that negotiation. A lot of people don't like to do.
No, and like I said, like savings of quite a substantial amount.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we tend to save around 10 to 15% against a dealer price. So you can imagine if you're buying a 50 grand car, you're looking at maybe a $5,000 to $7,000 saving, which is pretty substantial. You know, when you put that into a finance agreement, the customer saves a lot on the monthly payments.
Absolutely, definitely. It means you can get more extras, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that spoiler.
So look, this is a real key for you guys. I've spoken to a lot of mortgage brokers and accountants and financial planners in the past, and they really do like this service. It kind of separates us from the rest as part of our value proposition. So it's just that extra mile that we go to help that client that maybe a lot of other finance companies won't go to. So this is a real positive for us and great for you guys to get out there and start promoting it.
Excellent.
Okay.
That's a big panel.
Huge. Too big.
Too big.
Yeah, we've got a lot of lenders on this panel, and this first page is really our lender network. As you can see, your big 4 banks are on there. To be honest, our main lenders are probably Macquarie, ANZ and Pepper at the moment. Alfira Finance, of course, on there, BMW. And then we've got a couple of really good rental companies that will do fit outs like TL and Flexi. And personal loans wise, Latitude and Rate Setter tend to be the big players.
Big go, yeah. And you guys mentioned that you got some really nice low doc products that we just talked about. I think you got slides on that. But for those low doc customers of you guys, definitely products on that.
Absolutely. And look, from a low doc perspective, as long as your ABN's in place for about 12 months normally, and you've got 6 to 12 months GST registration, we can tend to do a low doc on a commercial.
And it's up to 100% or on a new vehicle? That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
100%, 12-month ABN for those that have got business and at least 6 months GST registration. You can't complain about that.
Yep.
What are the rates from that kind of stuff?
Obviously, products determine
Yeah.
profile.
Yeah.
Biggest thing for us is if the customer's asset backed or not. Main priority for us is to get that customer the approval, then we can look at getting the best package for them.
Yeah.
So you're talking about maybe new companies who haven't got their financials prepared. We can help them out, get them the van they need to get into the new car. If they don't fit the low doc product, we have also got companies like Access Today who will do like a rental type setup to get these people on the road earning money.
Excellent. It's good. So guys, there's definitely a solution for every one of your customers out there. Sure.
Yeah, and if anyone needs any help with translation for Richard's accent, I'll Okay, so the next page is a lot of the affiliates we have. So we also have partnerships with some major businesses out there. So it just gives you an idea of the scale of Stratton Finance and the type of companies that we work close in hand with. Okay, so why am I local partnering with Stratton? Well, firstly, because Jaci came to us. Look, I think the important thing from what I gathered from my local was that you guys really wanted to offer a 360 service for your clients. So it's about being able to offer them not every product in the marketplace, but some real key products to guide your customers through their finance journey.
Definitely. And I think, like we said, there's, for brokers that haven't cut their teeth on cars before, and, I mean, for those, I've obviously done, car finance before, when I was a broker, but, for those that don't want to do it and want to stick to residential, but they still want to provide a service to their customer where they still remain sticky, this is a great opportunity for you to earn extra money to, keep your clients happy that they're not going out to seek another broker. And, one of the things, Stratton won't steal your customer, so they won't sell them a home loan. So that's one of the things that, from our point of view, from a respect point of view of your database, that you've got the ability to refer your customers to a business that will 100% be able to service them well, provide them with options, and will do their best to get a fantastic outcome. And, we all know that we can't help everybody, but, in everything that I've seen with Stratton, in the past 4 to 6 weeks with working with these guys preparing for this, like their dedication to getting a result for your customer and the focus on the customer service, which, is something that's also really important to us and to obviously to yourselves when it comes to your clients. People need to be looked after and responded to. So I think from my point of view, it's definitely a perfect partnership of like-minded businesses.
Yeah, our approach is very customer centric. We want to really roll out the red carpet for that customer. The My Local brokers, they have customers loyal to those brokers, and we want to continue that level of service.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, if you guys want to jump on our website, stratton.com.au, you'll be able to see the testimonials on there, and their live testimonials coming in for all of our brokers, just showing you, what sort of level of service we do provide.
Definitely.
We've also just started Net Promoter Score.
Yeah, so Net Promoter Score probably last 6 months we really focused upon it. Happy to see we're at 89%.
Excellent. That's amazing.
Which we're really proud of, and continuing to go up and up. Like I said earlier, customer is key. We are all about the experience. We do a lot of e-signatures, so we make it convenient and easy for the customer. We like to make it as simple and easy as possible. We'll do all the work and just provide a good experience.
Yeah, which is perfect.
And certainly on that consumer stuff, all our consumer platform is e-signing. So, I know a lot of people get hung up on consumer because it can be a bit more, a bit more work with it. But for us, it's very easy. So if you've got consumer stuff you want to flick over, we can get it done for you, no problem.
Yeah, perfect. Easy.
Okay. And I've just put everyone wins here. I think for us and my local, we do win, but really ultimately it's the client that triumphs out of this, which is the most important thing.
Definitely. Well, when everyone's happy, you can't lose.
Yeah. So a bit about how the process works now. This is something that might create a little bit of interest with you guys. I've put some information down about identifying some opportunities with your existing clients. And some of you might be keen on going back through your clients to take a look at this sort of information. But certainly if you don't do that, do look out for it going forward, because you can get deals from your existing clients who have got existing finance. So what I've popped down here is if you've got a client who has either car or asset finance of any description, and they've got a long loan term where they might be paying a lot of interest, like 7 years, or a 6 to 7% plus interest rate, then it's definitely worth giving us a shout to see if we can do anything with it.
Yeah.
We can mid-term refinance these cars and these assets, and often if it's a decent client who's just been taken to the cleaners a little bit initially, then we can take 2 or 3% off the rate and actually make them a decent saving on either term or their repayments.
Perfect.
Okay.
So it's just not new cars. It's obviously people that might be already in business that just would like to refinance for whatever reason, if they're swapping company entities for taxation reasons, or so it's not just looking out for new cars. If they're you can see that they're a small business owner, that they've got a couple of vehicles and that they're fairly new, and you can see their interest rate's quite high, and perhaps it was because they went to a lender where they didn't have any financials and weren't asset backed in terms of residential security from a comfort point of view from the lender. So it's just I guess my big thing for you guys is any questions that you have on a particular scenario, and we'll talk about how you can shoot those through to all the guys at Stratton. But there's a number of different ways you can skin a cat here.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I were you guys, if you see an asset finance deal on the A&L, just ask the customer for the contract. They'll tend to have it on email. You're their mortgage broker. They'll be happy to supply you with that information. And then obviously, if you're not going to tighten with the mortgage and it's not viable, then pop it over to us and we'll take a look at it.
Absolutely, definitely.
Same with credit cards and personal loans. Obviously, consolidation is a big part of what we can do. And any interest rates like 12% plus, which is what you'll get at the best from the banks at the moment, from Westpacs and CBAs, on personal loans, we can certainly improve upon. If you're a good customer, you can get yourself under 10% on the interest rate on a personal loan. So, and if you're a great customer, actually they can go down a fair bit lower than that.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So look out for those. Engaging our clients, pretty simple, or your clients, sorry. A couple of easy questions for you guys, and some of you will probably know this, but how do you normally pay for your finance? How often do you change them over? And when will you be buying your next car? Now we do know that there's a statistic that says, within
buy the new house,
buy a new car 7 months later.
Yeah.
So certainly your clients that in the last 6 months have bought a house, might be worth chasing them up to see if they're interested in buying a car now.
And I think when you've touched a really interesting point that I think a lot of us just don't ask that question. If you've got obviously this the assets and liabilities, you can see that they have a car there, be it encumbered or not. You've got that age there, and they are just good questions from a sales point of view to find out if there is there something there, and there may not be, but it's a question that if you don't ask, you're not going to know. And a really good opportunity, be it that it's refinanced in the mortgage or done separately, depending on the circumstance.
Yep. And again, with credit cards, something you might already be doing, but just find out if they're paying minimum payments and how long they've had the cards, and maybe we can look at consolidating those credit cards. Okay. So we'll go on to a little bit about how to refer the client. So as you can see, it's a pretty straightforward journey. Customer details passed to Stratton. Now there's 2 ways that you can do this. You can ring through directly on the 1300 number. Yep. And the second way is through the online portal that you guys already have access to. There will be 2 two sections there that you'll be able to take a look at. One will be car and asset finance, and the other one is personal and business loans, and both of them will be coming through to Stratton.
Perfect.
Once we receive that information, we'll take the application over the phone with the client. Happy to take a warm transfer. If you've got the client online, bring them through, by all means. Once we take the application and we get the documents from the client, we have around about a maximum 24-hour turnaround for an answer. Okay, so it's a yes, no, or maybe within 24 hours. We'll keep you in the loop as a broker, and obviously the customer, and then we'll go from there and set the expectation on the next sort of time scale, depending on what the answer is.
Perfect.
Okay, a quick deal we can do in a couple of days if we really need to.
We can take a couple of hours.
Well, some have some have been done within 24 hours.
Yeah.
From start to finish, to getting in the car. But realistically, 2 or 3 days is a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, you know, one of my recent experiences is just doing some car finance for my sister that before I met you guys in the last few months. But, you know, making sure you've got that relationship with the dealer with expected delivery times, and making sure that the fund is actually ready to settle, and that, you know, you've got your insurances in place. And, you know, there's a lot of like nice little tips that, you know, and working with the dealer as a broker is a nice thing to do in collaboration with working with Stratton to get that, you know, that finance approval sorted. And you'd be surprised, I've been actually referred car customers from this Land Rover dealer in Brisbane, ironically enough. Yeah, I'm obviously just referring that to our brokers in Brisbane. But it's amazing, you know, when you have that nice conversation piece and that relationship, just to make the whole transaction nice and smooth. So whilst it is I guess a handball to Stratton, you know, just, you know, keep yourself in there, just make sure that you're across the whole transaction.
And look, from our perspective, the earlier we can capture this customer in their journey, the better, because if we can get them up to our Car Connect team, organising a car for them, or we can organise the finance as early as possible before they go to a dealership, that's where we'd like to be, ideally.
Absolutely, yeah.
We do offer a used car service. It's not yet as comprehensive as the new car service, but if your clients are looking for used cars, we've got contacts both in New South Wales and in Victoria for used cars, and we can source and take trade-ins on that front as well.
Excellent.
Okay.
Wonderful.
You will see on your portal a Car Connect form as well to fill in. If you've just got someone who initially wants to look for a car, you can go in and pop in the details for the car for Car Connect before we decide to talk about finance. So if you've got someone that's interested in a car, again, you can send that through to us straight away.
Perfect.
Okay.
Excellent.
Now, you guys, importantly for you, will be receiving payments from us on the 16th of the month, so then that's dispersed from you guys.
Yeah, in our normal commission run, yeah.
The normal commission run. And we'll just flick over the page to what you can earn.
Yep.
One more again, sorry.
One more again. Yep.
And look, you guys are taking a 25% split on the brokerage, and that averages on a deal between $250 and $350.
Yeah.
Okay, so for just simply passing us a name and number and a little bit of detail, $250 to $350 in your account.
Which is excellent.
Which is excellent.
It's not bad. Not a bad day, is it?
Not bad.
Not a bad day.
Not a bad day at the office.
Particularly if you don't want to be doing the work, guys, and you know particularly bogged down with all your residential. Yeah, for those brokers that just the tick and flick, it's a sensational earn for tick and flick. I guess too, we've got this referral portal that will be released at the PD days that are coming up as well at the start of the end of the month. The guys from Stratton will be there, so you'll get to meet Richard and Paul in person. Are you guys travelling interstate as well?
We can do.
You do, yeah. Great. So, so Scott will make some announcements on the lineup for all those PD days shortly. But yeah, you'll get to meet the guys from Stratton, particularly here in Victoria, and we'll just confirm about interstate. But this referral portal will go live at the end of the month for you guys to be able to essentially create the snapshot of the customer, to be able to shoot straight through to the guys at Stratton, to be able to provide you back with feedback, and they obviously then report back to us in terms of how deals are going, and vice versa. And it's just a really nice communication piece, guys. So more on that, but the link is sitting there, which you will get in your PDF copy of this presentation, and yeah, it'll be ready to go on the 28th of March. I understand Scott's going to unveil it. Big
Cool.
red bow.
Fantastic.
Cool. And look, in the meantime, if you guys have any deals, then feel free to flick them through to Jaci or whoever it might be at my local.
Definitely. I think it's straight through to Paul, I think. What do you reckon?
Straight through.
Straight through.
Yeah.
Straight through.
Straight through.
Straight through.
Okay, so where does the magic happen?
Wow, very good slide.
Well, we do have a big office over in on Williamstown Road. Jaci's been over there to see the magic.
I have seen the magic in the Williamstown Road office.
We've got, as I say, about 45 brokers here in Melbourne, so plenty of people to service everybody. It's a fantastic team spirit in the office. We're sitting here in my local building, and there's games everywhere, and it's very similar. And Rich actually runs the office in Victoria, so maybe you can give us a bit of a...
Yeah, I think with the brokers, we're very particular in who we bring on board. We look for a very high skill set in communication, attitude, and most important, customer service. So I can't guarantee it, but the brokers you'll be speaking to will be of the highest quality.
Absolutely. And then no cars inside and out.
Absolutely.
That's
Which
right.
is excellent. That's what you want.
And if you're ever in Port Melbourne, feel free to pop in. Always happy to show you around and make you a coffee.
Make you a coffee.
Yeah, free of charge.
I don't know if anyone's made me a coffee there yet, but anyway, maybe I'll pop down.
Yeah, we are, as Jaci said, we've got our first PD day at the end of March on the 28th. So we're coming down, and we've got one of the team from Car Connect coming down to present at that PD.
Oh, that'll be great.
Yeah, so you hear a bit more about the buying service and how that really can help you. Getting in touch with potential opportunities or any training and support, absolutely happy to come out and see you guys, give you a bit of education training if you need it, and any support you might need with deals. If you've got a deal that you want to just game plan or chat over, please do call the 1300 number. I'll be answering that phone for my sins. So you'll be speaking to me, so please feel free to call me, and that email, I'll pick up those emails initially as well. So do send those emails through with any questions you have, or call through, and you know, we can discuss potential finance opportunities.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, guys, is the one thing when it comes to asset finance, there is no such thing as a dumb question. If you're not too sure what something means, and even like very, you know, the variances between HPs and chattel mortgages, and, you know, obviously the novated leases that we've talked upon, and, you know, how you can get your self-employed customer who may be in the same industry that was working for someone else on PAYG that now is an electrician and, you know, has been for 10 years but wants to start his own business, and how you can assist him or her with, you know, setting up their business with, you know, with a vehicle, or, you know,
Yeah.
It's, you know, these are the types of things that, you know, they're questions that you don't necessarily have the answers to, and these guys will happily answer them for you. So don't feel restricted. Just pick up the phone and hassle them.
Yeah, and it's not just your clients. It could be, you know, daughters, friends, wife, someone else's wife. We're happy to help everyone.
Nice touch there, Richard.
We're in Wales now. And look, I guess from our point of view, if you really jump on board with this and make a real effort to go through your deals and look at your deals differently going forward, then there's a real opportunity to make some money here.
Absolutely. And I think, guys, have a chat to your BDMs about how, you can start to look at mining your database through the existing asset position of all your customers, and to, look at the dates of those vehicles and whether they're still financed, just for new opportunities. If you do one a week, you could be making upwards of, $1,000 to $1,250 a month just for, putting your customers in a better position, perhaps with a new vehicle, or refinancing an existing deal that maybe, something was priced a little bit higher due to the circumstances 2 years ago. These are all different ways that are really quite achievable, in be it that you've got a database of 200 customers or 1,000 customers. There's still a high likelihood of you writing a good percentage of deals based on, just the data that you have existing in Chief.
And yeah, look, our numbers in terms of your commission are based on what we normally do, but certainly if you're passing deals, if you're passing a jet over, there might be a little bit more commission. So if there's some machinery or equipment, there's likely to be a bit more commission for you guys as well. So do bear that in mind. It's not always the case, of course, but sometimes when there's a bigger deal, there's more commission. So
absolutely, definitely. All right, have we got any questions, or have you got anything else to add? Should we open the question vault?
I think
open the vault.
Open the vault.
Yeah.
Questions.
Hopefully we've been so thorough that they're answering.
Yeah. Well, I think we were just starting to demystify a couple of things. So when we talk about, say, a hire purchase and say a chattel mortgage, and essentially, the classifications on, what actually makes them different.
Yes, so hire purchase is now a thing of the past. The government, in their wisdom, a couple of years ago, slapped on GST onto the interest element. So GST for someone who's using the car predominantly for business use is 9 times out of 10 the best option. Very quickly with the GST, you can claim the GST back in your first batch statement. A very popular way for tradie customers, someone who's using a ute or a van for 100% business use, is to do what's called a lease. Now we're happy to explain all this to your customer, but essentially a lease, the accountant can claim the GST back monthly instead of in one big chunk on the first quarter balance. We get quite actively involved with the customer's accountants. We don't just guess what they should do, we like to find out.
Excellent.
They're making a big decision, so we want to put them in the best product.
Definitely. So we already talked about those low doc products. So another opportunity for you guys to look at, perhaps from a database point of view, would be look at those self-employed customers, look at the age of their vehicles, because we obviously know that depreciation can only go so far, and turning over these vehicles, particularly when they're coming out of warranty, and again, this would be obviously done in conjunction with their accountant, but if your customers are self-employed, you should definitely make a list of who they are, provide a bit of a snapshot back to the guys at Stratton, and they can provide some ideas of quotes and products that they can happily then discuss with your customers, right?
Yeah, and look, and just touching on that warranty piece, we have a fantastic product, extension of manufacturer's warranty that matches the dealer warranty.
Okay, excellent.
So if you've got a new car and you've run your 3 years on, say, a Toyota Land Cruiser or whatever it might be, our products will actually match that Toyota warranty and give you another 1, 2 or 3 years on your warranty. So certainly when people are buying privately or buying from a dealership and just getting a statutory warranty, then we can offer them that extension, which gives them that peace of mind of buying a new car, basically.
Perfect. So we've got a question in here. What is the minimum document requirement for a low doc application?
A privacy form.
There you go.
Which we can e-sign, so the customer can sign it on their phone. We would take an application over the phone, and that is it.
That is it.
That is it.
Easy done.
So look, we need to see a copy of the license, but yeah, document-wise, just a copy of the license and that privacy.
Yeah, excellent. I think another question that we've got here is around leasebacks. Yes, no, maybe?
Yeah, so we do sale and buybacks.
Yeah.
So we have our main lender, who would do it where a customer pays cash for a car. We can do a sale and buyback within 3 months of purchase. All we need is the bank statement confirming where the money has come from.
So
And we can,
AML and CTF, imagine.
Yep. And we can only, so if it's in the director's name, we can only do the sale and buyback in that individual director's name.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, we do see a lot of people that do drop money on lots of different things.
Yes,
absolutely. I'm doing one for a highest at the moment, and we've just required that bank statement and from a dealer, this one, and you just need the invoice that the dealer gave you initially for the purchase.
And within the 3 months,
Within
which is good.
Easy stuff.
Easy stuff, yeah.
Excellent. Any other questions? Don't worry, no such thing as a silly question. We're all sitting here swirling on our chairs, waiting for something interesting to answer. Is there anything else that I guess from your point of view that maybe, I mean, I love talking about your trickiest scenario.
There isn't such a thing.
Wow.
I think that there's no scenario that we wouldn't have a crack at. We're quite confident if they're breathing and have a credit file.
Breathing.
Yeah. We're more than happy to help them out. Yeah. Again, we're joking, but we are in business to look after the customer.
Yeah, and our panel of lenders really allows us to work with those customers that are credit impaired, at the bottom end to the customers that are very wealthy and asset backed. So the panel of lenders gives us that spread. Of course, there are going to be the odd customer that you just can't do anything with naturally, but 9 times out of 10, if it can be done, we'll be able to do it.
That's right.
And look, to give you an example, I've got a guy that at the moment wants a 2001 US built bus.
Wow.
Financed 150 grand.
Jeez.
It was registered in Australia in 2012. He's a mortgage broker. He can't get it done anywhere. He came to me and said, I've given up on this. Is there anything you can do? TL Rentals said to me, assets fine.
Yeah.
Assets fine. Let's ask some more questions about the customer's asset backing.
Yeah.
He's a reasonably good customer. Should have no problem.
Yeah, right. So you're also doing like any of the vintage stuff?
That's becoming really popular, especially with the vintage Porsches.
Yeah, right.
So a lot of wealthy customers are buying the old 911s, RS3s, GTSs. No one can get those bought because of the booking value, the LVR. Whereas we've got lenders who will take that on board at competitive pricing.
Excellent. Well, there's a hot tip for all the brokers out there. Get involved with your car clubs and see. That's if you are into cars and get what horsepower is and all that type of jazz, then perhaps go down there and put your services out there and say, well, we've got a great opportunity to provide finance for those muscle cars or whatever it might be. The 911 vintage Porsches are quite lovely. Actually.
They're great.
Yeah, very nice.
And exotics, again, not many finance companies will take them unless you know. But certainly if it's a Lambo or a Ferrari or an Aston that's coming along, which would be wonderful, then we can take those on board as well, as long as it's a strong client.
Did you see Lamborghini's just put out a 4-wheel drive yesterday?
I didn't see that.
It's a little bit weird, but anyway, he's
Nice.
there.
And a Zonda landed in Melbourne Airport yesterday.
Really?
Wow.
I know.
Oh, there you go.
Awesome cars.
So, but look, lots of little ideas there. Any other questions? Everyone's gone quiet. Well, guys, look, I really look forward to seeing you all at the PD Day coming up. They start at the end of the month, as we mentioned. The guys from Stratton will be there as well. You'll get a copy of this presentation with all the contact details for Paul and that hotline number that he's got on the slide. I understand that he will answer it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Can't guarantee the condition on weekends, but the guys genuinely are here for you all. And look, we're really happy to partner with Stratton in this particular area. And thanks guys for coming along and giving us your time. And we look forward to settling some deals.
Absolutely, and as we said, if there's anybody that needs any help or wants us to come out and have a chat with them and just meet them, then I'm happy to do that. Over the coming weeks before the PD Day.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Nice talking to you, or
Thank you.
talking at you. And
That's it. Awesome. All right, guys, we'll see you soon. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Cheers.